Benton XL Network.
Welcome to Sector 11. This area is under a Level 2 biohazard quarantine. Please limit your contact with other personnel as much as possible. Have a safe and productive day.
Hello everyone, just a real quick disclaimer. I just want to go ahead and remind everyone that the cartoons I'll be talking about today, or in any future episode, I do not own anything with them. All rights go to respective owners. And one thing just to remember too as well, this is solely my opinion, and my opinion only. If you feel otherwise from the things I talk about, that's understandable and okay. This is just a fun little series for me to talk about some cartoons with me being a big old cartoon nerd. Thank you. Hello everybody! Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Benton XL, and you're watching Lost Toons, the show where I watch, analyze, and review series that were quote-unquote lost to time. And at the end of each episode, I'll be giving my own opinion on whether or not they should have been lost, or if they were lost for a specific reason. Also, I really don't mean lost so much as I mean to say these are often forgotten series. They're only aired for a short period of time or only had one season made total, and not much of anything else. Now then, without further ado, let's get lost in some tunes. Today's show is a Nicktoon, not just a cartoon, a Nicktoon. I have always wanted to say that. Anyway, the series we'll be checking out today is known as 3 Delivery.
3 Delivery is an animated series created by Larry Schwartz, someone who had produced several Nicktoons at the time, the most popular amongst them being Kappa Mikey. Now, 3 Delivery had a very short run, starting on June 27, 2008, and ending 1 year and 1 day later on June 28, 2009. The premise of the show, as described by Wikipedia, is 3 teenage heroes skilled in martial arts fight to protect Chinatown from the evil Kung Lee, who unleashed the power of a magical cookbook on the city in years past, and who now returns to collect the recipes and unleash them upon the world. Sue, Sid, and Toby work as delivery runners for Wu's Garden Chinese restaurant, and secretly hunt for the dangerous recipes to stop Kung Lee. And well, that description is mostly correct, besides, the secret part. Because in most episodes, it's the citizens who are cooking up these recipes and bringing back relatives from the dead, some of which lovingly include a weird flying rhino-elephant hybrid, never-ending soup, huge moths, living vegetables, turnipkins into monkey-bat hybrids, and let's not forget that time they made a recipe that basically turned anything that anyone saw into their worst nightmares, fears, or insecurities. It's like that one Netflix movie, Bird Box, except instead of being a ripoff of A Quiet Place for blind people, this actually has an ending that makes sense! Just watch the intro. They'll explain it better than me.
Years ago, our Nana was trained in the ways of magic.
Her classmate, Kung Lee, defied their master and unleashed the power of a magical cookbook. Nana stopped them.
But the pages of the book were scattered.
Now Kung Lee is back to recover the pages and use them against Chinatown. At Wu's Garden, Nana trained us to stop it. We 3 have the power to save Chinatown.
And the world.
Now, let's talk about our main characters. We have a trio of main heroes, 2 of which are named Sue and Sid, a pair of siblings, and their friend Toby. All 3 of them were abandoned at an orphanage as babies and were adopted by their guardian, Mei Hua, more commonly referred to as Nana, as it was foretold to her in a prophecy that the 3 would eventually battle against Kung Lee. Between the 3 protagonists, Sue takes the role of the boss, as she is often the first to discover key clues during investigations and is a good detective by nature, but she's also the type to take the saying, mind over matter, a little too seriously for her own good. Sid is the second in command in the trio, and is most of the time the one who connects the dots between what's going on and what's caused it. As a character though, his biggest flaw is that he's very selfish. The show even has 2 episodes where he screws things up only to accomplish a simple goal he's fixed on. Toby is what I would consider to be the lackey of the group, who is actually a decent fighter when he tries, but is also very lazy despite that, often preferring to instead take the quick and easy route, while also mostly making jokes during very serious or very tense situations. Nana, whose real name is Mohr, is the primary guardian of the three teens. As stated in the intro, her and Kung Lee were both students under the same master, and is trying everything she can to stop Kung Lee, as he is disrespecting the memory of their master, with trying to use the cookbook for evil. She is very caring and wise, but she tends to show more of a hypocritical side when it comes to certain subjects, i.e. magic and the use of magic, even though she uses it in a lot of episodes herself, but forbids the teens from using it. Now, moving on to the antagonist of the series, Kung Lee, the evil mastermind whose primary objective is the cookbook. Kung Lee is a great martial artist, but as far as personality goes, he's pure evil. And as a villain, I'd say the only real downside to him is his evil laugh really isn't that great and honestly feels a bit forced.
Won't Nana be proud of little Su Yi?
Now, onto the main side characters, or just side characters, I guess? Is there a difference between major side characters and minor side characters? Can you even describe a side character using the word main, or is that contradictory? My head hurts. Let's move on. Anyway, moving on. So, Mr. Wu, the son of Mohr, his real name being Calvin Wu, is the owner of Wu's Garden, the spot where the teens work at. He's a huge cheapskate and naturally very bossy. If I were to make a comparison to anyone else, I'd probably chop him up to him being Mr. Krabs, except if he owned a Chinese restaurant instead of the Krusty Krab. He's cheap and cares more about his business than his own employees, and even his own son. Speaking of which, Barney Wu, the son of Mr. Wu, obviously, is to say at the very least, not attentive. He does not pay attention to the things around him most of the time, and he only wants to spend his time wrestling, but usually doesn't succeed. The Redelivery was a very interesting cartoon. It was created during a time when Nicktoons was very experimental with the series that they aired, and a lot of good shows, despite being greenlit, weren't supported very much, and ended with them getting the plug pulled very soon after they began. The Redelivery is a very good example of this. It was good, but a majority of people in my generation don't remember this show, or only remember tiny bits and pieces of it. As for good things for this show, unlike most cartoons, the Redelivery isn't episodic in nature. Rather, it's an ongoing storyline where they often bring up previous events from older episodes. There's even an episode where almost all the recipes come back. There are lessons to the stories it tells, and the music is also really good, especially including what they play at the end of each episode. Now, the episodes themselves tend to share a similar infrastructure and formula to how things often play out. Some random person finds a recipe, cooks it, and chaos ensues. Or, alternatively, Kung Lee is brewing one, and chaos begins as a result of his antics. From there, the trio, who are usually training with Nana, get badgered by Mr. Wu to go on a delivery. Then as they leave, see Mr. Wu trying out something new to save money, or get money, with Barney setting up the B-plot in the background. While out on delivery, the trio begin noticing weird stuff, take pictures, show Nana. Nana thinks she knows what it is and makes them an antidote. From there, one of three things usually happens. A. Turn Toby into something peculiar. B. They split up and get attacked. Or C. Get affected by what's going on, then return to Mr. Wu's to retrieve the antidote or figure out what to do in order to fix it. Sometimes, in the case they're fighting against Kung Lee, they fight, get beat up, then trick him, or just beat him up. Then he gets mad, disappears, and Nana says something along the lines of, "I'm proud of you guys. Chinatown is safe." To which Toby says something dumb in response. They all laugh, or Mr. Wu yells at them to clean up the kitchen because of the chaos from earlier. Roll credits. 3 delivery. 3 delivery. 3 delivery. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. I'm just gonna go. Now, even though I just talked about the formula being repetitive, I still really enjoyed the show. It is by no means perfect, but it's still a good show and holds up mostly well, besides the outdated usage of the flip phones maybe. The last episode is good, but bittersweet, because you could totally tell they were hoping for a season 2 to be greenlit, which sadly didn't happen. But believe it or not, I actually tweeted at the original creator of the show. He said he would have and still wants to make a season 2 for it to this day. Personally, I would absolutely love to see that. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments below. This is my first video in this series, and it's been a while since I made or edited a video like this in full, but I hope you guys enjoyed it well enough. If you have any criticism or notes you want to share about the video, I would love to hear them. Please leave them down in the comments below too. I hope you had a great day, night, evening, or whenever you're watching this, and I hope you're having a good one. Thanks for watching. Benton Excel out. Oh, and also...
Warning, warning, a production incident has occurred.
You matter.